36 जना भयो उनीहरुले देख्छन् नम्बर देख्छन् उनीहरुले पनि हामीले देख्छन् नम्बर देख्छन् 38 बल गर सबैजनाले एकचोटी 38 जना पुग्यो 39 बोर्ड एक्जाम आउँदैछ सर 20 दिनमा धेरै स्टुडेन्ट नआउलान् कि त्यस्तै छ अच्युतजी त्यस्तै छ अच्युत मरठा गोर्खाली त होला नि मरठा त्यो धेरै नआउलान् भने पिर पर्यो अनि यो बोर्डमा तयारी गर्नलाई त नपढ्ने अनि पछिको बोर्ड के गरे नि फेरि अनि पछि मेडिसिन बोर्ड के गर्ने अनि समीर शर्मा गुड मर्निङ ल गुड मर्निङ समीर जी सगुन श्रेष्ठ अमिषा सेठ तपाईहरु त्यसमा नाम लिइहालौँ न गौरव उप्रेती विपना गुरुङ के हो ल विपना जी सबैले तकाउनु पर्यो सुदन गैरे सगुन श्रेष्ठ समीम कार्की रित बठार बटराई होला यो रित भट्टराई हो बठार भनेको सन्दीप रवियाल एनीवे 40 भयो अब सुरु गर्छु है त ओके लेट मी गो अहेड ओके सो क्लास लेट्स स्टार्ट so last time we discussed about acute kidney injury. Okay, we discussed, just to recapitulate, we discussed with the okay, so we discussed about the definition, we discussed about the staging, we discussed about the risk factors, we discussed about the basic management and the classification in terms of the pre-renal, renal, and the post-renal. So similarly, today we will be talking about chronic kidney disease. Probably we will be having two lectures on CKD because it is a long topic, so we might not be able to cover in the English presentation. Okay, so as in AKI, हैन जसरी चाहिँ ARF नभनिकन आजभोलि AKI भनिन्छ भन्यो त्यस्तै गरिकन CRF नभनिकन CKD भनिन्छ chronic kidney disease. Because the long-term consequences of kidney problems might range from the mild or minimal disease to very severe form of the disease where life might not be possible without renal replacement therapy. Okay, and that stage 5 CKD is called as CRF. Okay, so that's why the term CKD has been used. And usually acute kidney disease or acute kidney injury is reversible, whereas CKD is irreversible. Okay, that's why there are so many definitions of CKD, and the most valid, most objective, and very comprehensive definition is given again by KDIGO. KDIGO. That KDIGO has given this definition. Okay, this is the abnormalities of the kidney structure and function. Okay, there is abnormality of the structure and the function that lasts for more than 3 months with implications for health. So this is very comprehensive definition, because once there is any insult due to any etiology, once the insult is there in the kidneys, then that causes the change in the structure and the function. So the normal function, so for that we should know the normal function of the kidneys, because the normal function of the kidney is to form urine, that's how to excrete the unwanted waste products, maintenance of water homeostasis, maintenance of salt and electrolyte imbalances, maintenance of electrolytes, maintenance of acid-base balance, control of hypertension, control of blood pressure, and then excretion of metabolic waste products, and then production of erythropoietin. So all these functions of the kidneys will be hampered. Okay, there is structural dysfunction. That means the kidney size becomes smaller. The corticomedullary, in the kidneys, in the gross, we discussed cortex and the medulla will be there. The outer one is cortex, inner one is medulla. So that differentiation is there in the ultrasound. That differentiation will be lost. Okay, and the kidney size becomes smaller. Cortex becomes thinner. So these are the major structural abnormalities. Okay, again, just to recapitulate, kidney size becomes smaller. Corticomedullary differentiation, CMD, will be lost, and cortex becomes thinner. And if this abnormality persists for more than 3 months, and that can create the complications to maintain normal homeostasis. This is called as chronic kidney disease. So again, I'm saying this one cartoon that shows there is abnormalities of the structure and the function of the kidneys that last for more than 3 months with implications for health. Okay, so these are the criteria for this CKD. Okay, so either of the following abnormalities might be present. There can be albuminuria, there can be urinary sediment abnormalities, electrolytes and other abnormalities due to tubular damages, abnormalities that is detected by the histology, that is by the kidney biopsy, structural abnormalities detected by the imaging or history of kidney transplantation, and GFR less than 60. So this is one of the criteria for defining CKD. But again, to repeat, this is the most precise, most comprehensive, and very objective definition of CKD. Okay. So now let's go to the staging. Again, for this staging, the staging has been done by 2 criteria. One is albuminuria categories, another is the GFR categories. Okay, by GFR, let's go first by GFR category. It has been classified into 5 stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 has again been divided into 3A and 3B. Okay, don't forget that. So now let's go to the staging, the definition of different stages of CKD. Stage 1 by GFR, where GFR is more than 90, normal, but there are risk factors. So normal GFR with risk factors is stage 1. Stage 2 is 60 to 89 milliliter per minute per 1.70 meters square. Okay, CKD3 is 30 to 59, where 3A is 45 to 59, 3B is 30 to 44 mils per minute. Stage 4 is 15 to 29 of GFR, and stage 5 is the less than 15. And this is also this stage 5 CKD is also called as ESRD or CRF. Again, so according to the GFR criteria, CKD has been divided into 5 stages. Stage 1, stage 2, 3, 4, 5. Stage 1 is the one where GFR is more than 90 with risk factors. Stage 2 is 60 to 89 mils per minute. Stage 3 is 30 to 59. Stage 3A is 45 to 59. Stage 3B is 30 to 44. Stage 4 is 15 to 29. Stage 5 or ESRD is less than 15. Okay, and then by albuminuria criteria, it has been divided into A1, A2, and A3, where A1 is less than 40 milligram per gram of albuminuria. Stage 2, that is A2 is 30 to 300 milligram per gram, or stage 3 is more than 300 milligram per gram of albuminuria. So this is how it has been classified. Albuminuria पनि important छ, तर सबभन्दा बढी important हामीले बिर्सिनहुनु भनेको चाहिँ कमसेकम ग्लोमेरुलर फिल्ट्रेसन रेट GFR को आधारमा गर्ने classification. Okay, so this is the same one. Now, do you know the formula? The last time also we discussed to calculate GFR. Now the GFR is equal to 140 minus age divided by 72 into serum creatinine, okay, and into 0.8 in the females. 140 minus age into weight divided by 72 into serum creatinine. This is how GFR is calculated by Cockcroft and Gault formula. There are so many other formulas, MDRD, EPI, or even very formula. This is the very easy. So these are the variables of CKD, of the GFR calculations. Serum creatinine value, weight, and age. Okay, and simple, right? Creatinine 2 छ, age 25 छ, weight 60 छ. यो मान्छेको GFR निकाल्दा 47 हुन्छ. तर सेम क्रिएटिनिन भ्यालु छ, सेम वेट छ, एज बढ्दै गयो भने के हुन्छ त GFR भन्दाखेरिमा with age GFR decreases. त्यसले गर्दा एउटै वेट भएको, एउटै क्रिएटिनिन भएको अलिकति यङ मान्छेमा भनेको 25 वर्षको मान्छेमा 47 हुने चाहिँ 60 वर्षको मान्छेमा त्यति नै भ्यालु हुँदाखेरि 30 को मात्रै हुन्छ. त्यसले गर्दा जति एज बढ्दै गयो उति GFR कम हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा we should assume that. त्यस्तै वेट चाहिँ जति बढी भयो उति GFR बढी हुन्छ जुन हाम्रो हो. वेट जति कम हुँदै गयो GFR पनि कम हुन्छ. जस्तै सेम अब अगाडिको यही फर्मुला हेर्नुस् है, यही रेफरेन्स मानौ. क्रिएटिनिन 2 नै छ, एज 25 छ, एजमा कुनै चेन्ज छैन, तर वेट घट्ने बित्तिकै 60 किलोको मान्छेमा र 40 किलोको मान्छेमा एड गर्दाखेरि 60 किलोको मान्छेमा त्यति नै भ्यालुमा 47 मिल्स पर मिनेट हुन्थ्यो भनेदेखि 40 किलोको मान्छेमा अरु सबै भ्यालु सेम हुँदाखेरि पनि 31 मात्रै भयो. So this is how these are the different factors that play a role in the value of GFR. Okay. Now this is the general epidemiology of CKD. The prevalence is around 10 to 14%. Just around around 5% of the whole hospitalized patients might have AKI. ICU that can increase up to 30%. तर यसमा के छ भने जनरल पपुलेसनमा पनि 100 जनामा 10 देखि 14 जना जनरल पपुलेसनमा पेशेन्ट माइट बी ह्याभिङ सम फर्म अफ CKD. समस्या के छ भन्दाखेरि हामीको रुटिन चेक गर्ने बानी छैन. अनि त्यसपछि यसले कुनै सिम्पटम दिँदैन फेरि अनि लुकेर बस्ने चान्स एकदमै हाई. त्यसले गर्दाखेरिमा कमसे कम स्क्रिनिङ गर्नुपर्छ है त. क्रिएटिनिनको स्क्रिनिङ गर्नुपर्छ, युरिनारीको स्क्रिनिङ गर्नुपर्छ भनेर हामीले सजेसन गर्नुपर्ने कारण त्यो हो. By albuminuria itself, almost 7% of the persons might be having CKD. Okay, so the GFR less than 60 mils, that is the stage 3 and above, CKD might comprise of around 3 to 5% of the total population. Okay, so this is how the incidence of CKD in different countries, right? हाम्रो देशको पनि अराउन्ड 10% मान्छे एउटा पपुलेसन स्टडी भएको थियो इस्टर्न नेपालमा. सो इन नेपाल अल्सो अराउन्ड 10% of the total the sample population had CKD. Okay, so with decrease in the GFR and increased albuminuria causes increased cardiovascular risks and the risk of overall morbidity and mortality. So these are the major risk factors: age, race or ethnicity. Non-Caucasians have more risk factors, and the genetics. Others are like birth weight. Low birth weight babies might be having the chance of development of CKD in due course of time. presence of systemic hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, albuminuria due to glomerulonephritis, or again risk of development of CKD is quite high. Obesity or metabolic syndrome, dyslipidemia, hyperuricemia. Persons who smoke will have more risk of developing CKD in comparison to their non-smoking counterparts. Low socioeconomic status, and the use of nephrotoxicity like NSAIDs, antibiotics, some Ayurvedic or the hormone medicines, heavy metals might be having risk factors. So these are the major causes. Risk factors cause diabetes is the #1 cause of CKD, followed by hypertension, chronic glomerulonephritis, obstructive uropathy in the form of stones, in the form of tumor, or in the form of some other extrinsic pathology. And the congenital anomalies like ADPKD, vesicular reflux in the children, chronic interstitial nephritis, CIN भन्छ, र progression of AKI to AKD and CKD. त्यसले गर्दा सबै AKI reversible नहुन पनि सक्छ. That can progress to CKD. So this is how. Repeat गरेर हेर्दै पर्दाखेरि most common cause is diabetes, followed by hypertension, chronic glomerulonephritis, obstructive uropathies, congenital abnormalities, chronic interstitial nephritis. Okay, there are so many causes of chronic interstitial nephritis because of the infection. Just the pyelonephritis भयो, त्यसले गर्न सक्छ. Acute tubular necrosis गर्दा के हुन सक्छ. त्यसपछि गइकन चाहिँ अर्को भनेको चाहिँ drugs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and other nephrotoxic drugs can cause chronic interstitial nephritis. Okay, so there will be inflammation, proliferation, and the fibrosis. This is how the progression occurs. That's why once there is fibrosis, once all the inflammations heal by fibrosis, that causes irreversibility of the problem. 1. 2, there will be functional abnormalities or the structural abnormalities of the kidneys. Kidneys are sound because of this fibrosis. Okay. So these are the, I don't want to go in detail, but there are the stages of the glomerulosclerosis. Okay, there will be again inflammations. There will be the flooding of cytokines that causes the release of the inflammatory mediators, and ultimately that causes the fibrosis. So fibroblast will come, and that is replaced. That replaces the normal architecture. So the normal architecture of the kidneys will be lost. Okay, this is how. Now, going to the clinical presentation, usually asymptomatic. This is one of the poor marker, because once the patient becomes symptomatic already, they will seek medical help as the earliest. But once it is asymptomatic, the chance of detection is very, very poor. Okay, so until unless it is stage 4 or stage 5 and the complications arise, then only it produces the symptoms. What are the symptoms we will discuss later. So there can be risk factors. That's why in general population it is advisable to do screening of the kidney functions at least once in a year, especially in the population who are at risk, like those who are having diabetes, those who are having hypertension, those who are having the cardiovascular diseases, already having structural kidney disease like ADPKD, like renal stone disease, like vesicular reflux, like in tumors, okay, like in horseshoe kidneys. Any of the abnormalities can lead to CKD. That's why those patients are vulnerable. Renal calculi, male patients who are having the prostatic hypertrophy, multi-system disease like the potential kidney, like the systemic lupus erythematosus, family history of CKD, and the congenital or the hereditary diseases in the family. Okay. So these are the international recommendations for targeted screening for the CKD are elderly, hypertension, diabetes, almost all these are different guidelines. Okay, almost all guidelines have noted down the importance of the uh, screening in different age groups or different risk population. Now these are the common physical signs in the advanced CKD. I think this is the picture which I took from Davidson's. It's quite easy to understand, and you can note down that there are so many vague complaints. There are so many vague complaints. Just there can be yellow complexion, pallor is present, usually because we'll discuss later on what are the different causes of anemia in patients with CKD. There can be features of failure like the JVP, JVP range. There can be permanent catheter, dual lumen catheter. We can think of the patient might be having this CKD. Once you auscultate, then you can find out the pericardial rod. There can be AV fistula. Already patient because AV fistula dialysis fistula. That radial, that can be brachial. There can be the mark of renal transplantation already. Okay. There can be brown line pigmentation of the nails. There can be presence of the peritoneal catheters already in the abdomen. Pruritus, chilaga marks or bruising marks or peripheral neuropathic features and there can be the features of volume overload or acidosis, like in the form of increased respiratory rate. So these are the, again to repeat, none of the clinical findings are specific to the kidneys. These all are very, very vague complaints. Patient might present as just easy fatigability. Patient can present as just vomiting. Patient can present as just shortness of breath. Shortness of breath is the vague symptom, which can be because of respiratory problems, which can be because of cardiovascular problems, which can be because of neurological problems. Similarly, if the patient is having a renal problem or CKD bio, that can cause again acidosis, metabolic acidosis. Metabolic acidosis respiratory rate that causes shortness of breath. That's why simple shortness of breath vomiting. Vomiting can be because uremia, because the urea level will cause vomiting. Then simply pruritus simply loss of sleep simple edema. So any of the general vague complaints presentation can be there. So for the management, we have the two major strategies to CKD management. One is the management of the complications and the prevention of the CKD progression. Because stage 1 देखि 5 सम्म हुन्छ हामीले यस्तो स्ट्र्याटेजी गर्नु पर्यो कि जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ स्टेज 1 बाट 2 मा नजाओस् 2 बाट 6 भने 3 मा नजाओस् 3 बाट 4 मा नजाओस् 4 बाट 5 मा नजाओस् 5 मा 6 भने डायलिसिस नचाहियोस् केही समयसम्म. That is how our strategies should direct in that line. Okay. So for the evaluation of the CKD, the first one is the establishing the chronicity. It is one of the difficult tasks. बिरामीको सुधार हुन्छ कि हुँदैन हैन त्यो जति पनि जीएफआर इम्पेयरमेन्ट भइसकेको छ त्यो सुधार हुन्छ हुँदैन भन्नको लागि चाहिँ very very difficult task even for the experienced nephrologist. त्यसले गर्दा हामीलाई धेरै गाह्रो पर्छ. But we should focus on the different plans on that line. Okay, those plans are taking the detailed medical history. Detailed medical history. बिरामीको कुनै किसिमको रिस्क फ्याक्टर छ कि छैन, पहिले डायबिटिज छ कि छैन, पहिला चाहिँ हाइपरटेन्सन छ कि छैन, कन्जेनिटल एब्नर्मालिटी छ कि छैन, युज अफ एनी ड्रग्स छ कि छैन हैन, पहिला पास्ट हिस्ट्री अफ रिपिटेड इन्फेक्सन छ कि छैन, रिपिटेड एक्युट किडनी इन्जुरी इन द पास्ट छ कि छैन, स्टोन्स रेनल स्टोन छ कि छैन, कुनै अपरेसन सर्जरी भएको छ कि छैन, रिसेन्टली कुनै कन्ट्याक्ट डाइट लिनु परेको छ कि छैन. सो all those risk factors should be screened. Okay, and then physical examination findings are not usually helpful because these are vague complaints, vague presentations. Vague. However, look for any fistula if there are not. Look for skin changes if there are not. Look for the mass of pruritus. look for the features of vulnerable, look for the edema. So all these features should be checked. Okay, and then biochemical values might help but might not be at times. Usually एके आएर सिकेले छुटाउनको लागि चाहिँ एउटा सजिलो मापदण्ड के हो भने कि क्लिनिकलमा पछि तिमीले बुझ्छौ त्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ the symptoms presence of symptoms with correlation with biochemical parameters like युरिया चाहिँ नि 200 पुगिसकेको छ तर पेशेन्ट एसिम्प्टोमेटिक भएर ढुक्कतार हिँडेर ओपीडीमा आउँछ भन्दा कि दैट इज लाइकली टु हैव सिकेडी किनभने कि बढ्दै बढ्दै ग्रेजुअली सिकेडी एउटा ग्रेजुअली हो नि त ओभर मन्थ्स ओभर इयर्स मा बढ्ने भयो त्यसले गर्दाखेरिमा सो इट टेक्स टाइम because of that time patient might not be having any symptoms patient's body might have already been adjusted to that change in biochemical parameters. However, AKM के हुन्छ over hours to days to weeks हुन्छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरिमा patient might be very very symptomatic you not to सबै घट्ने एकदमै भमिटिङ हुने सास फेर्न धेरै गाह्रो हुने हुन सक्छ AKM को अवस्था है नत्र भन्दा कि यही कम्प्लेन्ट्स बाइक अरु चाहिँ सिकेरमा फेला नपर्ने भागेर parameters might not be helpful simply to establish the chronicity of the disease right now after the biochemical parameters always make havoc of calculation of GFR. Again to repeat, GFR is calculated by Cockcroft-Gault formula in the bedside, which is defined as the 140 minus age into weight, 140 minus age like in bracket into weight divided by 72 into serum creatinine into 0.85 in the females. यो फर्मुलाबाट जहिले पनि मेक ह्याबिट अफ टेकिङ द क्याल्कुलेसन अफ GFR. Another is the assessment of proteinuria. युरिनमा एल्बुमिन गइरहेछ कि छैन. एल्बुमिन गइराखेको छ भने कति गइराखेको छ you have to quantify it. That's quite important to establish the diagnosis, to establish the progression. Progression लाई पनि सहयोग गर्छ. अर्को भनेको kidney imaging, ultrasound of the abdomen will help to establish the diagnosis of CKD. Okay. Small sized kidneys with thinning of the cortex and cortical echogenicity, scarring, multiple cysts suggest a chronic process. Okay. Other structural abnormalities that can be detected are the ADPKD, horseshoe kidneys, hydronephrosis because of obstruction, scarring in the kidneys can also be detected. So they will help. And we have to do sometimes other further investigations like genetic causes of like ADPKD might require further genetic studies. Okay, and then certain kidney disease might recur after transplantation. Therefore, they might require kidney biopsy at times. Usually, CKD is contraindication for biopsy, but if the kidney size is not maintained, then we can do at times. Now, for the monitoring of the progression, we have to do the regular follow-ups of the renal parameters. Okay, and when to refer to the nephrologist, there are so many guidelines. Right? Usually advanced CKD cha, proteinuria cha, hematuria cha, progression of the CKD cha, gradually uncontrolled hypertension cha, hereditary kidney disease cha, or these persons require evaluation by the experts. That is how. So आजको लागि मैले यहीँसम्म चाहिँ टुङ्गाउने प्लान गरेर लिएर आएको छु गरेको छु है त फेरि अलिकति म थोरै रिपिट गर्छु नि म CKD has been defined as the abnormalities of the structure and the function of the kidneys that last for more than 3 months with implications to health. It has been classified into different categories on the basis of GFR and albuminuria. By GFR criteria, it has been classified into 5 categories, 5 stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stage 1 is the one where GFR is more than 90 with risk factors. Stage 2 is 60 to 89. Stage 3 is 30 to 59. Stage 4 is 15 to 29. Stage 5 is less than 15. Again, stage 3 is divided into stage 3A and 3B. 3A is one where GFR is between 45 to 59, and stage 3B is between the 30 and 44. So this is how the staging has been done. Coming to the etiology, most common etiology of CKD is diabetes, and diabetes. Then followed by hypertension, chronic glomerulonephritis, congenital anomalies, obstructive uropathies, chronic interstitial nephritis, and other causes, and the progression of AKI to CKD. Okay. While going to evaluation of the kidney impairment, renal impairment, for the management perspective, the most important one is the identification of the chronicity by clinical examination, by biochemical parameters, and also by radiological abnormalities. The most common radiological abnormalities that is seen in the CKD in comparison to AKI is the small sized kidneys with loss of corticomedullary differentiation, and then the thinning of the cortex and the increased cortical echogenicity. Okay. And then another one is once this has been established, then these persons might require the assessment of the progression. Okay, so this is how CKD has been. This is the first part of the CKD. Now we'll go to the management of the complications, or the general management of those group of patients. We'll discuss on the next class. Okay, thank you so much.